Are the National Guards still in DC? In short, yes. So what are they up to these days? Well, I happened to catch a few of them as they patrolled by, and although they refused to be on camera, I was able to hold a conversation with their sergeant and ask a few questions. My name's Alexander Hamilton, and this is the short report. So, I was in DC this weekend to participate in a march that started in Philadelphia. I've been having some health issues lately, and yes, I'm okay, but I was determined that it was better for me to just come back and rest and recuperate. But while I was there eating my free breakfast provided by my hotel, I was thinking about some of the unhoused just a block down the road from me, and I decided to grab a few plates and hand them out. As I was out, I decided to grab my camera kit and get a few shots of my surroundings when I noticed a squad of 4 soldiers with the National Guard walking by. I took the opportunity to go talk to them. Now, once I got their attention, the sergeant approached me and his 3 soldiers surrounded him in a protective posture. He informed me that he wasn't allowed to speak to the media, and that's when I flashed my ID and told him, I understand, I'm a captain in the Army that's worked in public affairs. So here's the scoop. I asked him a few questions, and first, where their unit was based and how long they had been out there. The unit has been deployed to DC for 5 months, and they were based out of Arkansas. I asked them what their mission was, and he informed me that their presence was to keep peace and deter drug trafficking. So, have you personally seen a problem with this? His answer, quote, well, that's what I was told, unquote. The Military Communications Department always develops talking points for the soldiers who are on the ground for any mission, just in case the media approaches them, like me. But note that his team hasn't witnessed this problem. They were just told about it, and they've been patrolling for 5 months. So I asked, well, what does your team do every day? And he told me that they just walk around to ensure people feel safe. So how much longer are they out there? He said he didn't know. Well, surely you have orders stating your start and end dates for this operation, for which he replied, well, I do know that they told me that they are currently working on orders to extend them and their presence there for 3 more years. Meaning that the city is going to be occupied the entire second term for Trump. And as I was wrapping up the conversation, I noticed yet another patrol across the street. They were everywhere. I also noticed that every bus stop had mentions of coming to Jesus. I saw book stands soliciting people to learn about the Bible. I saw banks with banners talking about the American dream, and people walking around living their lives in what to me looked like a dystopian propaganda machine. But I also saw hints of resistance with stickers posted in various places close to the White House that denounced our war efforts in Iran, for example. Now, I'm not sure if media has cared to report these developments regarding military presence and their continued occupation of the city. What I do know is the propaganda from command structures down to the soldiers and city banners and marketing of conservative religious materials is apparent. We are all constantly hit with big media, headlines from the Epstein files to current developments in the war front in Iran. Red states passing anti-trans laws to keep people distracted and misinformed. These stories are important, but what's missing is the attention to all the effects of all the domestic policies passed during this administration that are passively affecting the lower classes on the streets. Homelessness has increased and poverty criminalization is at an all-time high. The president will have you believe we are kicking ass and taking names, while Americans continue to pay the price at the pump, in grocery stores, out-of-control housing costs with so many forced to live in their cars, out of their family's home because of their inability to keep up with property taxes, or private equities relentlessly purchasing entire sectors of housing, making basic survival an impossible task. And when you can no longer keep up with the Joneses, you become priced out and criminalized. And it's not a moral failure. It's a failure of the system to regulate economic disparity and provide funding for programs that supplement costs and eliminate monopolies of the housing market. Why? Because our politicians are incentivized by corporate buyouts to maintain the status quo with tax burdens placed upon the people who are struggling the most. There is no American dream, just a subscription. A pay-to-live system where every basic survival need is monetized and commodities are a privilege. You think you own your car, paid off your house, try missing a tax payment on those properties, and you tell me if you are really free. This is modern slavery, and if you don't obey the system, you may find yourself out in the streets someday, and into a pair of handcuffs. This is Alexandra with This Just In.